Hello everyone, my name is Ahmad Adrian Asshidiqie and welcome to my video about an explanation on the topic of application letters. So, first of all, the real question in here is what is an application letter? There's a couple of meaning of an application letter. Based on the top.au.libguides.com, an application letter is a summary of your strongest and most relevant skills and abilities that will expand in your resume or selection criteria. It introduces you to potential employers and highlight your suitability for the position that you are applying for. And also, based on writing and college state educations, the objective of an application letter is to attract the attention of an employer. It acts as a cover letter for your resume and should provide enough personal information to convince the reader to grant you an interview. So, let's get back to the real questions. So, what is an application letter, you might ask? An application letter is a form of a text that you write down or made to enroll to a certain job that you want to be part of. So if you want to apply to a job, you need to make an application letter. You made this text to apply for a job or an office or a workspace that are currently accepting an employee to work under them. So you might be questioning, what is the purpose of an application letter? The sole purpose of an application letter is for the writer to apply for a job, to a job vacancy. These texts are used to attract a potential employer in order for them to let you to work under their belt. An application letter includes a personal identity, qualifications, and many others, with a clear goal to be accepted on a job that you're currently applying on. So, I'm gonna give you a brief moment for you to see what is the parts of application letters, and I'm gonna explain to you letters. So, here's, you can see it. There's a couple of parts that are included in this example of application letters. Okay, that's enough. So, first part of an application letters is the heading part. This part of the application letters contain the data of the sender. This data can include items such as, first of all, address of the sender. Second of all, the date that the letter is being written. Third of all, contact of the senders. This can include email, phone numbers, and many others. For example, in here I take Mr. Stuart Johnson's in 15 Main Street in 1234 Baltimore. Second part of the application letters is an inside address. This part of the letter contains information about the employer. The information this part have is including his or her name, his or her position, the company's name, the company's address, and for example here we have the Nemesis company with Mr. Andreas Neon in the 20 Main Street in 234 Baltimore. So, for the next part we will talk about solution. What is a solution? This part of the text are being used to express the writer expressions of greeting and gratitude towards the employer that will continue straight to the body of the letter. That mean that this part express your gratitude and your greeting towards the one that will read this text. For example, dear Miss Jones, or maybe in another one, dear Miss Andreas. This is just a brief example of what is a solution. So, next part is body of the letter. This part of the letter contains all the message and information that you want to deliver towards the employer. For example, your reasoning on why you wanted to apply for the job and many others information that you need to give in the body of the letter. Example, in here I already give you a little example of the text itself. In this part, we have an introduction, we have a main body, we have a relevant work experience, and conclusion. You can take a couple of seconds, maybe you can pause the videos, and then we will continue to the next things to talk about. So, the body of the letter itself usually contains 3 main paragraphs. I say here usually because there's some scenario where it contains more paragraphs, but the normal time it only contains 3 main paragraphs. So first up paragraph is the opening paragraph. At this part, you tell the job or position that you want to apply for. You can also mention from where you get the information. For example, do you get this on advertisement or from the Google ads or maybe other place. Second paragraph, this part tells you about your past experience, if you already had the job experience and many others, or any activities or skills that match or similar with the job. Give a strong or convincing statement that you are qualified and the right one to get the job. And last but not least is the closing paragraph. On this part of the paragraph, you usually write the possibility to have an interview. You can put your contact numbers or maybe email address to make the company easier to follow up. And don't forget to thank them, because if you forget to thank them, they might need to consider hiring you. So, before we get to the last one, we have complementary clause. What is complementary clause? This part of the letter serves as the end of the message. This part are usually used to give your message of goodbye to end the conversation or the letter. For examples, yours sincerely, very truly yours. Last but not least is the signatures. What is the signatures? This part of the text or letter contains the name and signatures of the writer, or on this scenario, the potential employee. Example: best regards, Lucius applicant, or Alex Jones. Alex Jones, enclosure and resume, or maybe you can just read it in here. So before we end our video, I would like to give you a couple of quiz. In order for you to know whether you understand the topic or not. Here's an example of application letters about Lilis Handayani. You can take a couple of seconds to read this text. Maybe pause the video if you need more time. Done? Okay, we will go to the question first. So, the first question: who is the senders of the letter? The second question: where does the writer got the information about the job vacancy? Both of the questions are included in the text. If you read the text carefully, you can answer the question. We will go back to the text and we will answer the question. So the first question is who is the sender of the letter? The sender of the letter is on the top part of the text itself. In this context, in this message, it is Lilis Handayani. So if you read the text carefully, you know that the answer of number 1 is C. And second of all, where does the writer got the information about the job vacancy? The question itself is a little bit more complicated than the first one, but if you read it carefully, just like what I say, you will find the answer on the first paragraph of the main body of the text itself. In here, she writes down that I'm writing to you in response to your advertisement for a local branch manager, which appeared in Jawa Post on Sunday. That means the answer for number 2 is yes, a D. So, what do you learn today? You might as well leave some comments down in the videos. What do you learn about this topic today, and what type of thing that you want to give me as a proper example of why what things that I did bad or what things that I did good. So thank you all for watching, and see you all later. Goodbye.